Let's start with this one. Former President Donald Trump allegedly praised Adolf Hitler, saying the Nazi leader had, quote, done some good things. According to a new book, The Return of Great Powers by CNN's Jim Sciutto, retired General John Kelly, who of course served as White House Chief of Staff in the Trump administration, recounted several conversations where Trump spoke favorably about Hitler. From the book, quote, he said, well, but Hitler did some good things, Kelly said of one conversation with Trump. I said, well, what? And he said, well, Hitler rebuilt the economy. But what did he do with that rebuilt economy? He turned it against his own people and against the world. And I said, sir, you can never say anything good about the guy. Nothing, end quote. Trump also admired Nazi officers' loyalty to Hitler, according to Kelly. The book quotes, he would ask about the loyalty issues and about how, when I pointed out to him the German generals as a group were not loyal to him and, in fact, tried to assassinate him a few times, and he did not know that, Kelly said. In a statement, Trump's spokesperson dismissed Kelly's comments and said he is suffering from a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome. On the heels of this report, it's worth recalling according to a 1990 investigation by Vanity Fair, Trump's late wife, Ivana Trump, quote, told her lawyer, Michael Kennedy, that from time to time her husband reads a book of Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, which he keeps in a cabinet by his bed. So, again, the source material here, Joe, is General Kelly. Obviously a highly decorated general who served at the right hand of Donald Trump for many years. So a guy with credibility who's recalled other conversations where Donald Trump has called fallen soldiers suckers and losers, and now revealing that he had a lot of fondness for Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, and Trump derangement syndrome, sorry, whatever idiot said that. We're talking about a man who dedicated his entire life to serving the United States military at war, in peace. Gene Robinson decided to go in and work with Donald Trump, even though he had some concerns. He did it for his country. He ended up being Donald Trump's longest running chief of staff. This is not a guy with Trump derangement syndrome. This is a man who is deeply concerned about Donald Trump calling dead Americans war heroes suckers when Donald Trump is sitting next to a man there whose own son sacrificed his life for his country in Afghanistan. So no Trump derangement syndrome here. The problem is, and we see it over and over again, and let's just keep going back to that famous saying, when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Donald Trump is continuing to tell us, and with more rapidity, that he is an autocrat. And if he takes power again, he will be an autocrat. And this worshiping of Hitler's power, just like this worshiping of President Xi, just like this worshiping of Kim Jong-un, just like this worshiping of Vladimir Putin, it all comes from the same disturbing place. He has an anti-American bent to authoritarianism.
Absolutely. I mean, Donald Trump has told us like 57,000 times who he is. And we see clearly who he is. And what a sick, warped individual he happens to be. I mean, it's hard to look at him any other way. Yes, you always follow the money with Trump, but it's more than his lust for money. It's more than his narcissism. There is this authoritarian bent, this fawning over authoritarian figures. I know we're going to talk about it later, but Viktor Orban at Mar-a-Lago, are you kidding me? This is the great guy, the great leader that he wants to praise. It's just sick, and it amazes me, and I'm sure it amazes General Kelly, and it amazes a lot of other people that more Americans, that all Americans don't see this in Donald Trump and don't fear it and reject it. But again, here we are. He's going to be the Republican candidate, and there's a possibility that he could be president again. It scares the willies out of General Kelly, and scare the willies out of all of us.
Yeah.